Single dad sheltered twin girls for a night, then learned their mother was a millionaire. It was just another cold November night when Daniel Miller closed the little diner he worked at on the edge of town. He was tired, worn out from his double shift, but at least he'd have a few quiet hours with his son, Ethan, before they both went to bed. Life hadn't been easy since Daniel's wife left 3 years ago, leaving him to raise Ethan alone. But he had learned how to survive, how to stretch every dollar, and how to keep going, even when life seemed too heavy. That night, however, life had something waiting for him. As he stepped outside, he saw 2 little girls sitting by the diner's window, their knees pulled up to their chest, their tiny hands shivering in the cold. They couldn't have been more than 7 years old, twins, with the same dark hair and frightened eyes. Daniel walked closer, concern etched across his face. "Hey," he said softly, crouching down. "Are you girls lost? Where are your parents?" The twins looked at each other before one of them, her voice trembling, whispered, "Mommy's not here. She said she'd come back, but she didn't." Daniel's heart sank. He couldn't just walk away. It wasn't in him. He saw too much of Ethan in those little girls, the same innocence, the same vulnerability. He knew what it meant to be left behind. "Okay," Daniel said gently, forcing a reassuring smile. "You're safe now. Why don't you come inside? It's warm, and I'll get you something to eat." The girls hesitated, but hunger overpowered fear. Within minutes, Daniel had placed hot chocolate and grilled cheese sandwiches in front of them. They ate quickly, like they hadn't had a proper meal in days. Ethan, who had been sitting in the corner finishing his homework, came over curiously. He was 10, shy but kind-hearted. "Dad, who are they?" he asked. Daniel placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "Just some new friends who needed help tonight." The girls smiled faintly at Ethan, and for the first time, Daniel saw a flicker of relief in their eyes. When closing time finally came, Daniel faced a choice. He could call the police or social services, but something inside told him not to. He didn't know why, but he felt a responsibility, almost a calling, to protect them. "Listen," he said softly, kneeling down to their level. "You can come stay with us tonight. Just one night, until we figure things out." The girls exchanged nervous glances, then nodded. That night, Daniel made up a bed for them in his small living room. His apartment wasn't much, 2 bedrooms, a tiny kitchen, and hand-me-down furniture, but it was warm and safe. Ethan gave up his own blanket so the girls would be comfortable. As they tucked in, Daniel asked gently, "What are your names?" The one who spoke earlier answered, "I'm Lily. And this is my sister, Lila." "Lily and Lila," Daniel repeated with a smile. "Beautiful names." Before they drifted to sleep, Lily whispered, "Thank you for not leaving us outside." Daniel's throat tightened. "I'd never do that." The next morning, Daniel tried to ask them more questions, but the girls stayed quiet. He didn't push. Instead, he made them pancakes and watched as Ethan made them laugh for the first time. But as the day passed, he knew he couldn't just keep them. He had to do something. With a heavy heart, Daniel decided to take them to the police station. Yet when they arrived, the reaction was unexpected. The moment the officer heard the names, Lily and Lila, his eyes widened. He quickly excused himself and made a phone call. Minutes later, the station was buzzing with activity. Confused, Daniel asked, "What's going on?" The officer looked at him seriously. "Sir, these girls, their mother has been searching for them everywhere. They're not just missing kids. They're the daughters of Emily Hawthorne." Daniel blinked. "Emily Hawthorne, who's that?" The officer gave a faint smile. "You must not read the business pages. She's one of the wealthiest women in the state. A self-made millionaire. These girls disappeared from their private estate 2 nights ago. The whole city's been looking for them." Daniel's jaw dropped. He looked at Lily and Lila, who were holding onto his hands tightly. Millionaire's children, he never would have guessed. Within an hour, a convoy of black cars pulled up outside the station. From one of them stepped a woman in a tailored coat, her eyes filled with desperation. She rushed forward, dropping to her knees as tears streamed down her face. "Lily, Lila," she cried, wrapping them in her arms. "Oh, my babies, I thought I'd lost you." The girls clung to her, crying into her shoulder. Daniel stood back, suddenly feeling like an outsider. But then, Emily looked up at him. "You," she whispered, "you were the one who kept them safe." Daniel nodded awkwardly. "They were outside my diner. I couldn't just leave them." Emily rose to her feet, her eyes never leaving his. "I don't know how to thank you. It was nothing, Daniel said quickly. Any decent person would have done the same. But Emily shook her head. No, not everyone would. You gave them kindness when they were lost and scared. That means everything to me. The story could have ended there. Daniel could have gone back to his ordinary life, and Emily back to her mansion. But fate had other plans. A week later, Daniel received an invitation. Emily wanted to meet again, this time at her home. He hesitated, unsure what a man like him could possibly have to do with someone like her. But Ethan was excited at the idea, and secretly, Daniel was curious too. When they arrived, Daniel was struck by the sheer beauty of the Hawthorne estate. The gardens, the fountains, the grand house, it was another world entirely. Emily greeted them warmly, and to Daniel's surprise, she treated him not as a stranger, but as someone important. She invited him and Ethan to stay for dinner, and as the evening went on, laughter filled the halls. Lily and Lila wouldn't leave Ethan's side, and Emily watched with soft eyes as Daniel interacted with all three children. After dinner, as the kids played in the garden, Emily confessed quietly, I may have wealth, but I don't have what you have. My girls, they need a father figure. And you gave them that, even for one night. Daniel felt his chest tighten. He wasn't used to compliments, especially not from someone like her. Over the following weeks, something unexpected blossomed. Emily and Daniel saw more of each other, not because of wealth or gratitude, but because of the genuine bond between them. She admired his humility, his strength, and his ability to give love despite having so little. He admired her resilience, her devotion to her daughters, and the kindness hidden beneath her powerful exterior. Ethan, Lily, and Lila grew inseparable, and slowly, so did Daniel and Emily. What began as one night of shelter turned into something no one could have predicted, a second chance at family, at healing, at love. Months later, as spring rolled in, Daniel stood in the Hawthorne gardens, watching his son chase Lily and Lila beneath the blooming cherry trees. Emily walked up beside him, slipping her hand into his. Funny how life works, she murmured. Daniel smiled. Yeah, I just wanted to help two little girls for a night. I never thought I'd find all of this. Emily leaned her head against his shoulder. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness changes everything. Daniel looked at the children laughing, then at the woman beside him, and knew she was right. What started as a single night of shelter had turned into the beginning of forever. And that's how one man's simple act of kindness led to an unexpected journey of love, family, and second chances. Sometimes, the greatest blessings come when we least expect them. If you were touched by this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories.